This is Earl Amin with the 2020 Foresight Podcast, where CEOs of small to global companies share their insights. It is 6 questions in 9 minutes because top CEOs know how to listen and be concise. So let's get to it. Question number 1. In just a few sentences, tell us who you are and what you do.
Absolutely. My name is Melanie Ofenloch, and I am the CEO of Ofenloch Consulting. Ofenloch Consulting is a business-to-business marketing firm that helps companies align their marketing goals with their revenue and operational goals. And essentially, we try to tell unique stories about businesses that allows them to position themselves differently.
Outstanding. So what's the best thing about being the CEO?
You know, I worked in corporate for 25 years, so it is the freedom of choice. I get to choose what clients and projects and people I work with. Today I'm the acting CMO of a really cool software and services company that's going to help energy companies with their energy transformation. I have a marketing strategy role with a retail AI company, and they provide grocers and CPGs with an end-to-end solution that will allow them to make their revenue goals. And you know that in this pandemic, there have been a lot of issues right now in the retail industry. And a lot of that using technology like AI could have been circumvented. You could have found toilet paper in the beginning.
Sure.
It was sitting in a supply chain. It was sitting in a warehouse somewhere, but people started impulse buying and they just couldn't quite get everything together. So that technology allows them to accelerate.
Indeed.
And it's really fun because I get to choose to work with like-minded people and management teams that are interested in taking their business to the next level.
Well done. Well said.
Thank you.
I hear from other CEOs that leading their team and being able to see what lies ahead can be a challenge. What are your thoughts?
Well, I mean, we're living in a challenge right now, right? With the COVID-19 pandemic, it's a global health crisis. It's sobering to think about all the lives lost and the changes to our overall routine. We're wearing masks, we're social distancing. I mean, I think I've seen my parents 4 times in the past, 13 months.
Yeah.
And my friends are even less than that because I'm making sure that I'm trying to set an example for my team.
Sure.
And think about the last time you traveled. I mean, I used to complain about how many hours I spent on a plane and how many miles I had, but gosh, right now, there's nothing that I'd rather do than get on a plane and go see the world, whether it be for business or for pleasure right now.
Sure. Agreed.
And I think, I'm sorry to interrupt you, I think we're asking so much for our teams right now, and leadership needs to have an inspirational role through their actions, and it's not just words.
Yes, excellent point. And based on that point, what piece of insight would you want to share with other CEOs?
Well, in the words of ABBA, take a chance. Make sure it is calculated. I didn't set out to start Ofenloch Consulting. I assumed that I was going to take my first break in 24 years, and I was going to spend a little time away from the grind. I was going to have some trips with the family and take some wine trips because that's an interest that I have. And then I'd interview for another CMO position. That was kind of the playbook I was going to follow. And I was lucky. My phone started ringing. Former friends and colleagues said, hey, we need help. So I took on a project, still going down the path of interviewing for the CMO job, which I knew that was a well-traveled path for me.
Mm-hmm.
And then I got another project. And then the next thing I knew, I had a chance to launch a cloud offering for one of the private equity firms' portfolio companies that I had worked for as a CMO. So it was at that point I had to make a decision, right? I had to decide if I was going to stay on my path or if I was going to write a business plan and figure out if I could get this a go. And I started to call people and, friends and colleagues and people I admire. And it's, over 4 years later, and I've never had to advertise. I eventually need to get my act together and get a website, but I've been so busy, I haven't had a chance. And, even during the pandemic, my business, this is probably the best year that I had last year. And I'm on the same course this year as well. So I'm very blessed and very, very lucky.
That you
And
are.
and I think, along the way, I've made mentoring a priority, especially for women in this field. And I believe that if you pay things forward, that you will always have a good long-term outcome.
Mhm.
And I've always tried to be empathetic. I think it's what a good leader should be. And I think that if I look at the measure of my success is people that have worked for me before, do they want to work for me again?
Mm.
And I analyze that.
Good point. Good point. Well, what other successful CEOs like yourself would you like to acknowledge and should be on my podcast?
Oh, you should talk to Amy Stewart. She is with a Stewart Legal Group. She's I think she was the first, she's one of my best friends to disclose, but she was one of the first women to work for an all women law firm. And then she launched her own diversity law firm that has her at the top. And
Right.
she's incredible. She is a firecracker and you will love talking to her.
Excellent. I look
So,
forward to that. Thank you. All
absolutely.
right. So now for the final question. How do you, Melanie, celebrate a win?
Well, I celebrate with the team that helped to make it happen.
Mm,
I can't do it by myself. I always have people that are talented and smart and work hard and bring things to life that help to make my vision a reality. And they need to be acknowledged and appreciated and cheered on as well.
indeed, they do. Melanie, it's a pleasure having you on today. Tell me, how can people find you?
I'm on LinkedIn under Melanie Bianco, Bianco, Ofenloch, or you can reach me at Melanie at Ofenloch Consulting. And I would love to talk to anybody and help anyone with their marketing needs.
Indeed. Well, this is Earl Amin with the 2020 Foresight Podcast. For more insights, go to LinkedIn and search for the Gray Owl Company. Melanie, thank you so much.
Thank you, Earl.